Is that
a new Quagatama?
Welcome back to another video, Miraculous fans! The premiere of Season 6 gave us a lot to be excited about. The main cast is entering a new era where they're taking on more responsibilities and balancing their duties as heroes better than ever before. I loved that Marinette and Adrien could go on more than one date without being interrupted by an akumatized villain, and that they had more personal time. If you've seen previous videos, you'll know this is one of my big wishes for the season. It's great that Marinette is finally accepting help from others and allowing her team to take some of the weight off of her shoulders. I'm not surprised that Alya is officially the successor to the Ladybug Miraculous, but I didn't realize Tiki could give her a second Kawagatama. Alya's new role and possession of the magical charm could have interesting repercussions on the series moving forward. Today, I want to talk about what those repercussions could be.
Thank you for your trust, but I sure hope I never have to replace you because that would mean something happened to you.
It's just a precaution.
Number 1. The return of Scarabella. Now that we know Alya will inherit the Ladybug Miraculous, I would love to have episodes where she works and trains with Tiki to become the best version of Scarabella. Unlike Marinette, who was thrown into her role without previous training or proper guidance, Alya will have the support of the current Ladybug while learning how to use her powers efficiently. Alya is more straightforward than Marinette and is not afraid to take chances, so I would love to see how she utilizes the random lucky charms. She should also learn how to create magical charms that prevent akumatizations, because if something happens to Marinette in the near future, then Paris' safety will fall on Alya's shoulders. Since the magical charms are an extension of Marinette's creative ability, it would be a nice touch if Scarabella's looked different. In the past, Scarabella has taken over for Ladybug when she wasn't available. At that time, she worked one-on-one with Cat Noir and defeated an akumatized villain despite her partner's initial hostility. It's clear that Alya knows how to navigate conflict and work within a team, but she should get the chance to act as team leader from time to time, especially when working with numerous heroes at once, to better understand how her teammates work alongside one another.
Tough as a tornado, courageous as a cougar, I am Scarabella!
Number 2. Marinette's memory loss. I'll briefly entertain the thought that Marinette may need to make a drastic decision and relinquish her role as Guardian before the series concludes. This would be a massive plot twist and change the trajectory of the series forever because it would prevent her from being Ladybug and make her lose a fair amount of memories. That's a lot of ground to cover, but if she remembers being Ladybug, she can always be caught up in what she's missing later and become a shoulder for Alya to lean on once they recover the Butterfly Miraculous. The critical part of this scenario is that Marinette wouldn't be able to regain her lost knowledge until Lila is defeated. The only scenario I can think of where Marinette would give up the Miracle Box and all her memories is if her identity becomes compromised. As a Guardian, she knows who every hero is, where they live, and the best way to recover their Miraculous is. She could give this information to Lila against her will and jeopardize her entire team. Like Master Fu, she could find herself in an impossible situation and have no choice but to give up her Miraculous. It's impossible to tell where the series would go with this narrative because Marinette is the main character. It's hard to imagine a series where Ladybug no longer exists. Cat Noir can always step up and become the series showrunner, but this seems highly unlikely. Instead, I think the series would take a complete shift in a different direction and focus on Marinette's personal life rather than her responsibilities as Ladybug. It would also be very interesting to see all of her loved ones keep their double lives a secret from her instead of vice versa. They clearly wouldn't like lying to her, and she probably would catch on to their continuous excuses, but it would all be in a bid to keep her safe from further attacks.
We know nothing! It's even worse than before!
Is that so bad? I mean, we didn't know a lot about Monarch either, but he still got bested.
Number 3. Meeting former Ladybug wielders. I doubt the series would introduce a second Kawagatama for the Ladybug Miraculous if it didn't have a reason. Marinette only used the magical charm once last season, and its ability to contact past wielders hasn't been relevant to the plot since. It's an incredibly powerful tool she should utilize when she needs guidance or advice. One of her predecessors should undoubtedly have information about the Butterfly Miraculous that she could find helpful, and I'm shocked that she hasn't asked yet. Given Alya's nature as a reporter, her determination to learn everything she can about the Miraculouses and their past, and her history as a Ladybug fangirl, she should use the Kawagatama the first chance she gets. It's a treasure trove of information and a gateway into literal history. She can meet notable historical figures and receive first-hand accounts of historical events, including how the Ladybug Miraculouses impacted them. She'll have a field day when she eventually gets a Kawagatama from Trix, giving her access to twice as many former heroes. It would also be really fun if Marinette and Alya could use their Kawagatamas at the same time, allowing them to interact and speak with a former wielder simultaneously. No one could hear or see Joan d'Arc the last time Marinette contacted her, and I have a feeling she would like Alya's spunk. Not only that, but I think Alya would ask the hard-hitting questions, the ones not related to relationship advice.
Should have held back. I don't need to try to do everything on my own all the time when I have a super team I can rely on.
Number 4. Training with Suhan. I don't know what's happening with the Order of Guardians, but they should be addressed in the 6th season. I find it highly suspicious that they didn't come to help Ladybug and Cat Noir stop Monarch from taking control of the entire world. That is a cataclysmic event worthy of their time. Not to mention, a supervillain managed to take every single Miraculous from one of the miracle boxes, which should have invoked some kind of response from them. Clearly, the 6th season is the time for the Guardians to redeem themselves. I can understand if the showrunners don't want to introduce a new cast of characters or come up with a reason for the heroes to travel to Tibet, so Suhan can be the conduit for the storyline. We see him working with and speaking to Alya at the end of the 5th season, and I'm sure Marinette will tell him that she's the new successor. With that in mind, Suhan should do what he never did for Marinette and properly take Alya under his wing. He could begin by telling her the history of the Miraculouses and the various rules Guardians are supposed to follow. He can also teach her to defend herself against various Miraculouses if the wrong person apprehends them. I want a full explanation of how he crossed paths with Luca and why he's training him to become a Guardian when he's already a Miraculous wielder. If he had time for that, he would most definitely have the time to train another Guardian who lives in Paris. Suhan should be doing more as a mentor for these young heroes, especially if he expects them to take on such monumental responsibilities.
How did you find me?
The Guardian staffs hold compasses that allow the boxes to be tracked at all times.
Number 5. Secrets from Nino. A final conflict I see occurring because of Alya's new role is keeping a secret from Nino. We've already learned that she's notoriously bad at it and hates leaving her partner in the dark. It's worked out for them so far, and there's no reason that Rena Rouge and Carapace can't work together, but that will change when she becomes Scarabella. If Lila learned her identity and took the Fox Miraculous, there's only so much damage she could do with the power of illusions. On the other hand, the Ladybug Miraculous gives her the ability to transform the world and rewrite it entirely. The stakes are much higher if Scarabella's identity is revealed, even if it is because Nino reveals the information while akumatized. Everyone who knows about Alya's new identity would not only become a target for their enemies, but also put the Ladybug Miraculous at risk. For this alone, it would be in everyone's best interest if Nino is kept in the dark. Unfortunately, that would be a heavy burden for Alya to bear alone.
Shouldn't we at least get those passengers to safety?
Marinette, I know you're busy with Adrian, but we have an emergency.
Alya becoming the next wielder of the Ladybug Miraculous isn't something we'll see for some time. It would be unbelievable if the series wrote off Ladybug before the main narrative was complete, so I suspect Marinette losing her memories and needing a replacement won't happen until the final season. However, that doesn't mean that Alya can't prepare to take her place in the meantime. Guardians take their time choosing miraculous wielders and ensure they're trained for the task, so having time to prepare and learn how to use Scarabella's abilities will only make her a better team leader when the time comes.
I could use the time to investigate the mysterious new holder of the Butterfly Miraculous. We still don't know anything about them.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications to stay updated on our uploads.
Hey, wait, Alya, aren't you gonna stop her from making a mess of things?
You know Marinette, once she's made up her mind, it's hard to convince her that she's wrong.